God. And we're back with COVID Cast.
The Fitnessgram Pacer test is a multi-stage aerobic capacity test.
Yeah, we saw some crackheads on the way.
Dude, they were like talking to no one, but I think that's what we should change the name to the podcast to.
COVID Cast.
COVID Cast.
Well, maybe people will stop complaining about the name then.
You guys don't talk about COVID. All right, what do you guys want us to change it to?
Yo, talk about Space. I'm telling you, we can get Danny Mac on and we'll finally be SpaceShow.
Text him.
I should have texted him in between the episodes. I'll text him right now.
Go for it. I'll
I don't
intro
care
this.
if I'm unprofessional. Mickey was a real asshole last two
he-
episodes
he
ago.
was just,
He's like, I'm not interested anymore. Eddie, what's up? What's new with you? Fucking.
So this episode, I don't know what's going to turn into, but first we're going to start with, I'm going to describe what school was for me from
We can talk about
preschool to 8th grade.
Yeah, we can talk about my grade school as well, I guess.
Because anytime I explain this to people, like, so wait, what do you think real school is like? I'm like, oh, I saw the movies.
Oh, for real? And you went there from preschool?
Up until 8th grade. And then high school is when I
Wow.
started real school.
Not same school, not the same building though, right? You moved buildings at some point, right?
What's
not
before first grade? Kindergarten?
Kindergarten and preschool.
Those two were at a different school, still in Montessori. Then 1st through 8th grade was all at the same school, but then I moved to different buildings.
Gotcha. Okay, gotcha.
So, for those of you that don't know, I went to a Montessori school. Very different way of educating and thinking.
Does that mean something?
Montessori?
Yeah.
It's the last name, Maria Montessori.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was named after a woman.
Oh, so she founded them?
Yes.
The school?
So initially, because I did a whole paper on this actually, for my research paper or whatever for college. I'm like, let me just type about it. I'll learn something, and I have firsthand experience. The reason she developed it was because she wanted to finally explain to people that just because people have different learning abilities doesn't mean that they can't learn at all.
Yeah.
So these 1st through 3rd graders, one didn't have any challenges, other ones had mental disabilities, and then she taught them one way, and then the other kids learned a different way. Traditionally, they all took tests at the end, standardized tests, and they both did equally as well.
Really?
Just to show, just because it's not conventional doesn't mean it doesn't work.
So, how does it work in the classroom? Is it
So, my experience?
Yeah.
So, the ideology behind it is they don't want to just test you and to fail and you not leave with any knowledge. So, they would rather you work at your own pace.
and actually learn the stuff?
And actually learn it, and you don't move on until you know it. And then you just kind of understand. You keep building on top of that. And then the part that kind of gets people is you get to decide what you kind of do during the class day. No, there's a specialist, but there's no teacher in a sense.
Sure.
There's no teachers.
Are you teaching yourself?
No, they come around and teach you, but they also group in grade levels together. So it's 1st through 3rd, and then 4th through 6th, and then 7th and 8th graders. So the idea behind that is, as 1st graders, you're learning from 3rd graders as well. They're helping you. The 3rd graders are building their leadership skills, their teaching abilities. The 1st graders are learning how to look up to these role models and want to strive to be like them. So they will help you, but if no one understands, obviously the specialist is going to come and help.
Sure.
So that was fine and dandy. I learned certain things, and we would have normal school day 8 to 3 or whatever.
So
lunch recess.
You got to pick what you did in the day, but was it stuff that you wanted to be doing, or was it just you had to pick out of different school subjects what you wanted to do?
I mean, yeah, I get to pick.
So
they would make sure we were on track with a certain minimum.
Even if you didn't want to do something, you still had to do it.
In a sense, I could do it a different day if I wanted.
Okay.
Let's say this day I solely want to work on math.
Okay.
I'm going to learn this Pythagorean theorem.
But it's not like you can just go in every day and just work on math because you like it, right? You have to do
I mean,
other shit.
you could, but the teachers will eventually say, hey, you do need to work on something else.
Oh.
So then we have different English stuff and science and everything. But yeah, one classroom with all these kids of different age levels, learning through that. And then as you get older, you go up to a different classroom.
Yeah.
4th, 5th, and 6th. You're learning different material, more advanced material, same model of do whatever like your heart desires, I guess, and then the older kids teach the younger kids. And a lot of people don't understand like why that would work.
That's kind of cool.
Like how are you going to be motivated to do things? Why wouldn't you just sit around all day? It's also just like the culture that is at that school. It would not work if you just threw a bunch of people in a room.
Yeah.
But because like if you're learning this from such a young age, you just know that this is
how
more,
it is.
Yeah, like I know I'm supposed to be learning right now, and I want like if these older kids are doing it because I want to be like them, why shouldn't I do that?
It's just like when you're a kid, you do things because that's what the kids that were older did. It's
Yeah.
like, why the hell do we all want to be line leader? Mm-hmm. Well, it's because the older kids, the kid who was in the front was always the coolest. You
Yeah,
know?
like did you see him before?
He was leading that line. The
Yeah.
teacher was right next to him.
It was cool. It was cool as hell.
The kid that was right behind him was not as cool, but I mean, line leader though. Did you see him?
So yeah, like that was just life up until about 7th grade.
Yeah.
And then, like, towards my 5th or 6th grade year, the Montessori school at Joliet Montessori bought the property next to it. It was like a house, and they converted that over into a new learning facility for 7th and 8th graders.
Still just a house though.
Yeah, it was still just a house,
Okay.
but like different rooms. So then my 7th and 8th grade year, I spent it at that house. Then we had more specialists coming in, like a math teacher, an English teacher, science, and history, to get us more prepared for like high school life because it's obviously very different.
Of course, it got harder.
Yeah. And they just want us to like get used to homework, adjust us to like real life in a sense, but still similar models where like
Yeah.
the specialist would come in for 3 hours in the morning. The rest of the time though, we got to do whatever we
Yeah.
wanted.
Damn.
Okay, I'm going to focus on my math subject right now, my English subject, or I want to figure out what I'm doing for history. Projects and everything. Very small community.
That's crazy.
My graduating class
This
was
blows my freaking mind.
5 people, including myself.
That's insane. And how many of them went to the same high school as you?
3 of us.
60% of your graduating class went to the same high school as
Yes.
you. Some would say that's a big number. But what was like your day? You were just sitting in a classroom all day, like all the way up until 8th grade, up until high school, sitting in one classroom, just doing one thing or doing multiple things.
In a sense.
And like,
Well, like with the house for 7th and 8th grade, lower level had like a little computer station.
Yeah.
I actually learned how to sew.
I've been wanting to learn how to sew for
Yeah.
goddamn years.
It was really cool because like one of the moms would just come in and like work on different
Yeah.
projects because the house was still a work in progress at that time, and then we just be like, hey, can we like spend some time with her learning how to do this?
Yeah.
And say, yeah, just learn how to do different things. I think I probably don't know how to do it anymore, but I did at that point.
Yeah.
And then mid-level there was a kitchen.
Yeah.
Where we could learn how to cook if we wanted. Some of the kids were like very talented cooks, and they like we could watch them like, why are you doing that? Why are you doing this? Because again, it's about
Keep going.
like nurturing education. It's like, okay, we want to develop a system where these people want to learn. Like they're seeing their peers learn, so they want to set out to do this. A big common area where the specialists would come in with like a whiteboard. They didn't come in with the whiteboard. The whiteboard was there.
Oh.
Yes. Hey, my computer. No.
Oh God, I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're fine. It has a screen protector. And then upstairs were a couple offices that they use. I don't think they use them for offices anymore. It was like clerical work for the school itself.
Sure.
But then the kicker is 1st through 8th grade, you get a lunch and a recess. Always. There's no gym
8th
class.
grade recess.
Yeah.
And no gym.
No gym.
Wow, my only.
I've never
experience-
taken a gym class.
My only experience with gym was in 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. Mm-hmm. Really? Wow. So that just blows my mind because in 7th and 8th grade, they try to make our day the most like high school
Sure.
that they can. So we're switching classrooms every class period. Mm-hmm. And you wouldn't have periods or anything?
No.
Wow. That's crazy. And
Like, are you talking 7th, 8th grade? We wouldn't have periods?
like
Like, Monday would be the math person comes in. Tuesday, the
Wow.
history person comes in.
yeah. So yeah, that's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Did you like it?
I enjoyed it. I think it helped develop me a lot. I think it gave me some social anxiety having only 5 people in my class.
I can understand that.
And between going to Providence or the public school with 10,000 kids versus 3,000,
Yeah.
I would have been in major culture shock.
oh yeah. Yeah. Jeez.
So I think it helped me, especially with like what I'm doing right now, like with music and like drum corps and everything. It taught me to not only look at my leaders, but how to also be a leader myself.
Yeah.
Like, okay, how do I get to this person? How do I teach them? Because I've been doing this since I was 6.
Yeah.
How do I teach them what I want to know? Vivian's calling me.
Oh,
You hang up on her.
Oh, okay. We could have taken that.
She's probably on her way back from work. I'm gonna text her.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, so I really enjoyed it. I don't think it's for everyone.
I could see the benefits, and I could understand why it's not for everyone. But it's just a wonder you didn't come out like a genius. You know, did anybody? Because I know the two other people who came from there, and well, the guy who's a year older than you is a genius.
Yes.
Who we know from there, Danny Mac, who we're trying to get on here. He's a literal genius.
Yeah.
And I could see it worked for him. But like, do you think like it gave you like an edge up over people coming into high school? Do you think you were more developed?
Developed in what sense?
Like, because like I felt like, I don't know, I feel like I really haven't learned how to study until I got to college, like high school.
I do think like in that sense, I wasn't ready for what high school was, like no matter what they prepared me for, because that was just my way of life for 8 years.
Oh yeah.
But I do think it gave me that want to learn.
Yeah.
So like I would do anything like that I knew. It made me a much more visual learner.
Yeah.
And like hands-on. Reading isn't my thing.
Yeah, I hate reading.
Like I just can't look at a book and say, I understand this now.
Oh, same. Now I'm terrible with reading anything.
But no, like there are a lot of like some famous people. Taylor Swift,
Really?
the creators of Google.
Oh,
I think Elon Musk.
that makes sense. He's a weird guy.
Anne Frank actually went to Montessori.
Wow.
She has a Montessori school named after her now.
Wow. That's cool, actually.
It's a much more common thing in Europe. They're scattered throughout the U.S.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I went to, it's called Joliet Montessori, but it's in Crest Hill, so I always had to drive 30 minutes out, and then going to Providence is like a breeze now.
Yeah. And I get what you mean with the culture shock, but I couldn't imagine what it was like for you going to Providence. Like, going to Providence, there was a culture shock, but I mean, for me, I felt my high school did a pretty good job of accustoming me to what high school life would have been like. But I just can't imagine going to that, to such a doing things at your own pace, essentially, to such a structure.
It was definitely like a rough first couple months at Providence.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God, I got to figure this out. And funny enough, my choices were either band or cross country. For the sole purpose of, I would have known people in each activity.
Yeah.
Danny Mac in band.
Yeah.
And our buddy Christian in cross country.
Oh.
And that was the only reason. Like, I wanted to be involved in something where I would know people, just because I was so afraid. Like, a lot of people go to Providence from like these feeder schools. They all know each other, and I'm just kind of like Joe Blow out here. Like, okay, I don't know who any of these people are.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, you mentioned earlier you joined. We didn't have gym in high school.
Correct.
And you didn't have gym in
Montessori.
and that's mind blowing too. Because I thought in Illinois, like the public schools, you have to have like some physical education requirement, and like
It's not a public school.
I guess, but I thought that was just like an education across the board requirement, like Board of Education says that you need to do this.
For like our gym or recess time, we were all pretty active. We were all just like doing stuff.
What would you do as an 8th grader in recess?
I don't remember, honestly.
like when
There's definitely days where like I would just kind of sit there and just like chill.
We got recess taken away in 6th grade. 6th grade was the last year I had recess.
Okay.
And I remember being out there. I mean, our recess time wasn't much. We only had like a blacktop, some basketball hoops, and a field. And I was like, man, what am I supposed to do during this time? I would rather be inside.
Well, like it's the culture that I was brought up in. It's like we're all still playing games. We're all still playing like Foursquare. We're all still just like doing tag.
Foursquare in 8th grade.
Yeah.
Tic-tac or hopscotch in 8th grade.
No hopscotch. Come on, we were above that. But like no, that's just the culture. Like that's just kind of like what we all enjoyed to do.
Sure. And I guess I mean
it's a very weird concept to think about. When I've never described this to someone the first go around, they say, "Oh, okay."
And like going there, you knew how school was in public schools. Like, how was that? Were you ever like, I wish I could go to a public school?
No.
Never?
I never really thought like, man, I really wish I was going to public school right now.
Did you wish you had more people though in the school?
In a sense, sure. It's because like in the house for 7th and 8th grade, I think there were maybe like a dozen kids.
Yeah.
Between both grades, and like mine was the smaller one. So when we started to graduate, well, now there's only 5 kids, and we're all gonna split up. But no, like public school, my view on it, like Viv's always asked me, hey, what did you ever think school was growing up? Like I watch movies. I think this is what it's like, and I describe it to her. Like, yeah, you're not wrong, but it's not right.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Some aspects of school were portrayed in the movies.
Like I didn't have a locker till high school.
I mean, I didn't have a locker until 6th grade. I had to keep shit in my desk. Mm-hmm. Is that what you had?
I didn't have a desk.
Oh shit! What did you do?
There were just tables.
Did you have books?
Yes.
And like you had folders and papers.
Sure.
Where'd
Like
you,
we had like
spirals,
little.
where'd you keep them?
We had like little cubbies,
Oh.
but like it was just a room with tables, like regular tables spread around them, and like you kind of sit wherever you want with whoever you want, and like you guys can work on a group as like a certain subject, or you guys can all just sit together and work on your own stuff.
Yeah.
But
Damn.
we didn't have like.
Damn.
We only kept our stuff in little cubbies.
Yeah. Well, in contrast, I went to a real ass public school where every day was hell, and I had teachers that were mean to me.
Yeah.
Well, I had a teacher whose name was Miss Nemi, and it sounded like Miss Meanie, and she was a meanie. She was a real meanie.
Did you tell her that to her face?
No.
Hey, Miss Meanie.
But let me tell you, she was so old that my friend's grandma had her when she was at the school.
What?
Same thing with, at Providence, Robbie had his grandma was taught by Mr. Y, or who was there for 50 years.
Raymond.
Kenny Ray.
Kenny Ray.
Yeah.
Did I ever tell you about what Raymond would do with his quizzes?
Yeah, he would with the grading.
So in his class, you had a quiz every day.
Mm-hmm.
It would be on the reading he assigned the night before, and it would just be 5 questions. Always 5, never more, never less. You take it. If you got 5 right, I'm getting ahead of myself. You would take it. He would collect it just like on a half sheet of paper, grade it, and then tell us our grades. And he would go around the room. Little Timmy, and you would say, yeah, tell me, or no. If you said no, he wouldn't announce it, but you also wouldn't see your grade for like a month because he never put them in. So little Timmy, yeah? C. Billy, sure. A. Or, and it would go A, B, C, D, or didn't pass. He never said F.
That's
Eddie,
so funny.
yeah, sure, didn't pass, and everyone just kind of looks at
Damn
you.
it!
Like, come on. I thought I knew this. And it was like usually multiple choice. Because he would just make it up on the spot. He'd be like, the Battle of 1812 happened between A, 1811, 1813, B, 1911, C, and yeah, he would make it up on the spot, and then he would write out his key as he's telling us the quiz.
He'd probably write him down wrong, too.
Mm-hmm. So I'm like, what is this class? And then I guess back in the day, I'm sure someone had to have complained. Depending on what your quiz grade was the night before or the day before, that's where you would be sitting like in the rows for the next day. So you'd have the A row, the B row, the C, D, and the didn't pass row. Like, that's messed up.
That's so funny. That's borderline, like, discrimination.
Yeah.
Like, this one kid keeps ending up in the didn't pass row.
I want the smart kids closer to me. The didn't pass, you guys can hang out over there.
You guys can hang out by the door.
Mm-hmm.
Man, what a trip. I keep going back to high school. Do you remember how they used to, they had the drug dogs?
Oh, yeah.
I was talking about this with my brother because I now own his car, his old car, and my brother was somewhat of a delinquent, more than I am.
Okay.
To put it in a perspective. And he did whatever in the car. I have it now, and we had the drug dog going around sniffing the cars in high school. They would go around and sniff the lockers, the cars, and my car one day just gets flagged.
Really?
Yeah. Have you not heard about this?
No.
Really? Yeah, senior year. Because I would park in your old spot, so it's right
Nice.
outside the science classroom, so everyone can see me, and I go walk out there with one of the deans, which is actually my health teacher at the time. And
So wait, like, they come to your class, like, back up.
My psych teacher, sorry.
So, like, knock, knock, knock. Hey, can we get Danny Canning?
My psych teacher walks through the door. She's a dean. And she goes, yeah, can we get Danny Canning? And I know when it's her. And I saw the drug dog and the dude out in the hallway, and I was like, fuck, what happened?
And, like, what do they say when you leave the class? Like, hey.
There's like, hey, the dog flagged your car, and she made a point to say, like, no, I'm not going to say you have anything in there, but now is the time to say. And I was just like, no, I really don't know. I was playing it so chill, and I was really chill about it because I knew I had nothing in there, and I was like, well, what could it be? And so,
like, did they search your whole car?
Yeah, we all 4 of us, 3 humans and a dog, went outside in front of all those science classrooms, walked to my car, and she's like, yeah, you're just gonna have to stand here while we search your car. I was like, damn, for real? She's like, yeah, we gotta go through the whole thing. It took about 20 minutes, and I was just like standing out there, and luckily it wasn't like the winter. I think it was springtime, warming up. But yeah, I like saw like Mr. Richards, like he literally laughed and pointed because he knew me.
A teacher came out and laughed at you by his window.
He goes.
Did you like see any like other kids like at the window
No,
like looking?
I think his class was taking a test because he was in the back window. And he goes. But I was gonna be really, really upset if my brother like left something in there that the
like
dog,
years later.
Yeah, that the dog had now found. I was gonna get expelled for. Actually, they wouldn't even have expelled me if it was.
No, you just got like a Saturday or something.
Depending on what it was, because I know somebody we knew had pot and he had to go to counseling.
Really? Oh, I remember that.
Yeah, he got a Saturday and he had to go to therapy or something.
So you've been having the devil's lettuce.
So here you've been partaking in the devil's lettuce.
Is everything okay at home?
Is there anything you need to tell us?
I remember there's like this one kid. I didn't know him, but I guess he heard the drug dog was like coming that day or something. And he worked in the dean, or his buddy worked in the dean's office, and he heard, yo, the drug dog's gonna come today. What? He left school. He got in his car and just left. Didn't tell anyone, didn't tell the deans he was leaving. He just left and came back the next day.
Is that why he would leave school? Like,
this is someone that you and I both didn't talk to.
Oh, because there's somebody else that we mentioned him in a previous episode.
Okay.
He would his senior year he would just not show up to school at all. Like maybe 2 days out of the 5 every week.
Oh, I just think he didn't want to go to school.
I thought it was because he had a job, and he literally just got a job that interfered with high school.
I never asked him honestly.
Because I had lunch with him, I feel like I remember talking to him. She'd be like, "Yeah, I had work," and I'd be like, "You got a job in high school that interferes with high school?"
They didn't ask your age or what you're doing.
I think he was just like front desk at a gym, and he just would rather have money.
I mean, fair.
To pay for weed. Fair. I mean,
yeah.
To each his own.
All right. Well, I think this is a good spot to restart.
Break time. You have no gym experience. My gym experience ended in high school.
What is wrong with you and your body?
I had gym.
Oh, okay.
It's the viruses and bacteria I picked up from changing in middle school gym locker rooms that had carpet.
I remember one of my first tours of Providence, they showed me like the locker room with no one in it, obviously. No, I think I was shadowing Christian.
Yeah.
And he because he had gym, so he like showed me in afterwards when everyone was done changing. Like, oh my god, I have to get naked here.
Yeah.
And then I volunteered to get naked around 150 other people for a summer for 4 years.
As me in high school, I was like the one thing I was afraid to do drum corps was because I didn't want to shower with 150 naked guys. Mm-hmm. But I mean, it's fine. That was the best part.
Honestly,
highlight of the summer. But yeah, and middle school gym.
So, what is the Fitnessgram pacer test? This is one of those things that like
yes,
I've heard about.
Yes.
I've never experienced.
Yes.
I don't really fully understand it.
That's something I had to do every year of gym.
Really?
Yeah, starting in like first grade. Yeah. So kindergarten wouldn't have gym, but first grade through fourth grade gym was like playing games every day, like dodgeball with yarn balls, or
nice.
we would get they would make bowling alleys with like carpet and rubber bowling balls, and it was really shit, but it was fun.
Yeah.
Or have you ever seen those little like scooters?
Oh, like people talk about getting their hands rolled over?
Yeah, their fucking fingers. Yeah. That shit, or parachute day, you know.
See, like that's all stuff I've seen in memes. Like, oh, you're old if you remember this. Like, I never experienced that.
Yeah. That's oh man, you never got to experience jump rope for Heart Week or whatever it was.
I don't know what that is.
It was a week where it'd be like fundraising in gym class, and you'd be like doing jump rope things all week, and like first through fourth grade we would have a jump rope guy who came in and would do jump rope tricks for us, and we would all be jumping rope with him, and he'd brought in like this 30-pound jump rope that he would jump rope with. He was sick. It was actually the coolest thing ever. And and they would tell us all about the heart because it was supposed to be like very educational. There would be like an obstacle course set up that's like, oh, your blood cell traveling through the heart, like jump over all this shit, do crawl through this tunnel, that's the aorta, and it was actually really cool.
Yeah, that sounds pretty neat.
Yeah. And then I got to 5th grade, and then gym changed. Gym changed, man. I had to start wearing a uniform to gym, the ugly ass green shorts with my name on it, an ugly ass shirt with my name on it, and we had to do mile times and do.
What's your fastest mile?
Pretty fast. I was sub 6.
Really?
Damn straight.
I got my mile to 6:25 when I got home from drum corps this year.
This year? That's pretty good.
And then I stopped running altogether.
I bet you... Right now, I bet I could run a sub 8 mile.
Right now, I could definitely run a sub 10 mile. Give me like a week, I could get a good mile time.
I have bad lungs, but my advantage is that I know how to use my long legs really well. Just lengthen. It's Gabe from The Office. Just lengthen, elongate, stretch, torso.
For podcast documentation, you want to do like 5 days where we document how fast we can get our miles?
Like try to improve.
Mm-hmm. So you can get the best mile time or the best like
increase. Well,
yeah.
No, because you're gonna be starting slower than I am.
No, just like genuinely try it.
Okay.
Like if I start at like 10 minutes and like I get it down to 8, that's a 2-minute difference.
Okay.
Like see what kind of difference.
So if I start at sub 6 and get it down to sub 4,
we'll look at it. It's all about context.
Yeah, no, you're right. That sounds fun.
We'll try it.
I've been meaning to actually start running.
Yeah, I need to too. That's why I want to force us.
I don't know if I'm just gonna go in and try to run a mile as fast as I can out the gate, but we'll see how it goes.
We'll put some prep work into this. We'll see what we can do.
I honestly have not tried running, since drum corps, but drum corps was the first time I had ran long enough that I got a runner's high and I understood it.
A runner's high?
You never hear about it? Like all those people that run like marathons and stuff, like they all say they do it because like they get like a pretty good like high from it.
I've never experienced that. I hated running in drum corps because it was always a punishment. You saw me have to run by myself once.
Tell a story. It's the greatest
God,
story.
I was so pissed. So, Barry was just screwing the pooch or whatever one day at Legends in 19. So they set down your drums, go run, and we have a rule: don't set your drums on the paint because like you don't want paint to get on your drums.
That's a good rule.
And like you don't want to mess up the lines that field lining already did. But we were on turf. Well, in my opinion,
so you didn't paint the field.
Yeah, there was no paint on the field, but in my opinion, that's still paint on a field. Like, why change the rules based on location?
Yeah.
It's a rule.
Sure.
So I put
sense.
my drum, because I was on the 50, so I put my drums on the side of it.
Mm-hmm.
So all the other quads were in a line, and then I had mine askew.
Looked like real shit.
Yeah. So I set it down and just run. I bolt and then run back. And before I could even get back, I just hear one of my texts, "Hey, what the hell is this? Are you trying to be funny? Go touch the pole again." And I'm like jogging in place so it looks like I'm still doing something. I'm like, what? No, the rule. I don't care what the rule is. Go over there, blah, blah, blah. And then I run back. I run, and then I run back. And like, what was your explanation, huh, Eddie? Well, the rule is you don't put your drums on the paint. Don't put it on the... Starts scuffing his shoe on the turf. It's turf, Eddie. Oh, I just figured it was like the rule, so we just always... No, don't give me that. I'm like, okay, I'll just get set. And then Lindsay came over to me. They got a point. It is turf. I'm like, yeah, but the rules are the rules.
This is one of my favorite drum corps memories because the pit wasn't doing anything.
No, you weren't.
And I was sitting on the drum set stool, turned around, watching this happen. I was watching you guys rehearse, and I was like, "Ha, Eddie's got to run." And I was like, "Oh man, the drums are really fucked up." And I took a snap, and Eddie had to run again. Oh, it was great.
And like you heard me having this argument, like, because I at one point I just kind of knew I'm not gonna win this. I'm just gonna have to run more if I keep talking.
Just grand. How did we get into that? I was a good.
Gym.
I wanted to. Oh yeah. So running. Yeah. So and we had to do mile times and shit like that, and my public middle school and junior high had like a workout room with actual like weight equipment in it.
Oh really?
So we'd have to do shit in there and record everything that we did. Mm-hmm. Wasn't nearly as fun, and the gym teachers weren't nearly as cool either. Like, oh man, grade school, we had like these young people, and they were super cool. Oh, it was the best. And then I got to high school, and like we got this dude that was shaped like a bowling pin, and then, and then like this other like stereotypical like worked up like women's basketball coach, like tight ponytail.
So the movies are real.
Movies are real, let me tell you. And yeah, we'd either be indoors or on the blacktop, depending on the weather.
So like the Fitnessgram pacer test.
Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you about that.
In my mind is you have the announcement, the Fitnessgram pacer test, and then like it explains it. Basically, you start at one side of this gym. You have to run before the beep.
Yep.
And the beep gets
faster.
Yeah.
It slowly gets faster, and you're just supposed to see how many beeps you make it through.
And like, what's the average? Like, what's good?
Oh god, I don't know. It gets pretty fast. We should look it up. I'm gonna look it up because I'm curious to know.
Because like I don't know. To me, like how does that measure anything? Like what?
I think it's supposed to be a test of endurance. But,
okay.
But like, it's like why does like these fifth graders need to have endurance? Like what are they running from?
Isn't there some sort of like presidential
Oh yeah, I think so. Test.
something where it's like, oh, this amount of push-ups, this amount of pull-ups?
Yeah, you have to like sit and reach test, pull-ups, push-ups, all those sit-ups. I don't know. I never did them.
I never understood gym classes.
I never got
like when I shadowed
well.
Christian and he was the one day he was in gym, they had a test that day. I'm like, what? How do you take a test in gym? Because it was like a written out exam. They had to know rules about sports.
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
So here we got a fitness pacer test grading scale.
Okay.
All right, so let's see. How many? What grade do you think? Okay, so it's an actual grading scale, so there's letter grades on it. When do you think? How many laps do you think a D is?
Oh God,
It starts out pretty slow and easy.
30?
10.
Okay.
10 is a D. Now, keep in mind, it's almost exponentially faster.
Okay.
Or it's probably multiplicative, the way it gets faster. But how many do you think a C is?
15.
17. How many do you think a B is?
19?
18.
What?
Yeah, wow. And then an A is 47.
How does it go from 18 to 47? What is that math?
A plus is 61 plus.
You can bite my ass if I'm getting to
And now
18.
it says a healthy fitness range for a male age 10 is 23 to 61. And I have never seen anyone get past maybe 40, I don't think.
Okay.
And it says a healthy male age 13 plus, that's me and you.
Okay.
We're 13 plus.
I'm 13 plus.
We're supposed to be able to run 41 to 83 beeps.
So, beep, you run.
Yeah.
You wait there till the next beep and then you start running again?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's not like you can beep and then start going back to the next wall to get ahead of it, right?
No. You have to wait.
Okay.
Okay, let's see. Let's look it up.
Kind of frozen.
Oh!
Oh.
Sad.
Here, turn down the ad.
Hope we don't get a copyright.
Yeah.
No free ads here.
Thank you to
Nope.
Spotify
Thank
for
you.
the sponsorship.
Thank you to nobody. Unless you want to sponsor this.
Stage aerobic capacity test. The Fitnessgram Pacer test is a multi-stage aerobic capacity test that progressively gets more difficult as it continues.
It says 20
The
meters
20-meter
on it.
pacer test will begin in 30 seconds.
Uh-oh.
Line up at the start. The
Shit,
running
get up.
speed starts slowly, but gets faster each minute after you hear this signal. A single lap should be completed
I don't know
each
that one.
time
I
you
think I have a
hear
text
this
now.
signal. Remember
What
to
is going
run
on?
in a straight line and run as long as possible. The second time you
so
fail
maybe
to
you're supposed to
complete a
lengthen
lap
out-
before the
lengthen
sound,
out until the
your
beep.
test is over.
I don't know how you would
The
know where the
test will
beep is
begin
though.
Yeah.
on the word start. On your mark, get ready.
Are we playing Pac-Man?
They added sounds to. Oh! It's just 20 meters.
1,
Oh.
1. Okay, but why does this kind of smack?
2,
Alright, skip ahead a little bit.
Come on. That's 6, 7, 8. 8 seconds to 120 meters in the first under 5. So we're going to skip 5 minutes.
37,
37. Oh. It's good elevator music.
38,
Oh, only it's 7 seconds now.
Okay. I'm definitely throwing up by this point.
38. Yeah, 38 laps. Oh, come on, buffer.
62,
62.
63,
That's 5.5 seconds.
What?
63. That's
64,
4 meters a second.
That's
Kind of fast.
Didn't you throw up at your first drum corps camp?
65,
No, somebody did though.
Okay.
All right, let's skip ahead. We'll get to that story. We can talk about our first
66.
drum corps camp. Here, where are we at? 13 minutes into this. We're buffering. That's where we're at.
Okay.
We're still buffering.
Are you on my Wi-Fi or?
I am. That's the problem.
That is the issue.
Oh,
120, 12.
Oh! That's 4 seconds
No way.
flat.
No way is that
That's
happening.
very fast.
100.
That's 5 meters a second.
Is that what I missed out at grade school?
You sure did. Okay, let's be honest. The song used in this are some great funky bops.
Yep.
Top comment. First drum corps camp, Colt Cadets 2015.
Bird up. Fire nice.
What did that was fun. That whole trip, the road trip out there with our boy,
Ange.
who that car trip was probably one of the funniest car trips I've ever had, because he had a Kit Kat that was melted.
Oh, the heater in the freezer?
Yeah, the heater in the freezer. He's like, he warmed it up because he liked it soft, but he forgot about it like in the vent. So it melted completely, and he's like, it's okay, I'll just put it in the freezer, because it was February, so he rolled down his window a little bit and stuck it out the window, and then rolled it up so the wrapper was stuck in the window, and it was just flapping outside the window.
I remember that.
And I was like,
And then it just came out like all bent like a V.
it was so funny because like it was just like the top part of it, so like he couldn't really grab it, and I was like, how are you gonna get that? And it was like whoever was sitting in the back had to reach from the back window and grab it up front. And then we had to run a while when we first got there. And
Yeah.
somebody was throwing up, and I bitched out. I don't like running, so I tied my shoe for about 3 laps.
I know, I saw him like, why is this guy still... Because you also wore like boots, right?
I think I wore
I think you wore jeans.
jeans and Vans, I think. 'Cause
Yeah.
I was in high school at that point. So I don't even think I could tie those Vans, and I was like trying to figure out how to tie them, or just fiddling with the laces.
Nah, he just doesn't know how to tie a shoe. That's the issue, guys.
It's actually why I went to drum corps.
Learn how to tie your shoes?
Yeah, didn't learn.
I was told there'd be shoe tying here.
Let me tell you something. My biggest gripe with drum corps was that I couldn't take my shoes off at all.
I always thought that was weird for the pit. Like, just take off your shoes, get a tan.
I mean, they had a fair reason. Like, they're like, okay, like, what if you drop a cymbal directly on your foot? And that's fair, but we didn't have...
What about during rehearsal?
We didn't have hand crashes. Like the things that people would actually be worried about dropping on their foot, like, we didn't have them at all. Nobody used them. So, like, why? And I was just, like, multiple times I'd just be standing there in my room, but, like, playing. I'd take off my shoes, and an unnamed young female tech would say, why are your shoes off? It helps me count.
It helps me. I get 10 more limbs.
Yeah, it helps me count, man.
Since it's June or whatever month it is,
Yep.
I keep getting like snap memories and like my Facebook memories of us at like Western Michigan for spring training. Dude, those are some really good, not good memories.
Drum corps memories are so interesting because they...
Lindsay Schuler once described it to me as this: no one likes doing drum corps, but the feeling of euphoria you feel after finals day makes you want to experience it all again for that same high. I'm like, wow.
I didn't get that high. I don't know.
Because you're like, man, I'm so happy this is over. And then you're just kind of living life like, this kind of sucks. I miss that feeling of drum corps being over.
I miss the feeling of just life being so routine and simple, and being so planned out and by the book.
You know what I don't miss? Carrying all my equipment everywhere.
You know what I don't miss? Pushing a multiple pound marimba wherever we had to go. That includes over grass terrain, sir, and uphills, sir. So I don't want to hear you bitch and moan about how you had to carry a stupid thing on your harness that's supposed to be carried and traversed over land with, and my instrument is not supposed to be. It's supposed to be placed in one area and played there.
You know what the worst was? I have to carry we always bring stands. We always brought our quad stands everywhere. 90% of blocks we never used them, so that we'd just be looking at them track and like, oh, we could be doing the standing still.
Should just stop bringing them.
But then I think we maybe didn't bring them once, and then we were doing standstill. Like we could have brought them.
Landon saw you didn't bring them.
Oh, for sure. Did I ever explain the story of roll call? Or why that was a thing?
Roll call.
With the quads? The LQ, if you will?
No, I don't think so.
So, at the LQ, the Legends quads, if you will, we had a roll call because one day during spring training, it's kind of like an unwritten rule. You always walk with your section, at least in the battery. So, like basses left together, snares and quads and cymbals.
I would never walk in my section.
Well, like going to and fro rehearsal.
Sure, okay.
So, like, I'm sure the pit all left at once. It wasn't like...
Sure, yeah.
You guys pack up at once.
Yeah.
Well,
yes,
after rehearsal,
yes.
like, sometimes I get ready, and I'm waiting on these dudes for, like, 3 or 4 minutes. And I would get tired. So...
It's your 4th time at drum corps. You know
yeah,
how to do
like, I
things.
kind of... Not that I have it figured out, but I know a thing or two. But... So these guys are just taking forever. And then I think one guy was ready with me. I'm like, hey, you want to just walk? And he said, sure. So we started walking. 2 more dudes started walking later. And then Landon saw that. And I guess he tried yelling at us. Like, walk together, blah, blah. I didn't hear him. So he thought I was ignoring him.
Classic.
So Colin, the quad tech, runs over. Hey, dude, you guys got to walk together. Landon's getting, like, really mad you ignored him. What? I didn't ignore him. It's like he didn't perceive it that way. I know. Just don't try explaining it to him. You guys need to walk together from now on. Fine. Because at that point, I was getting a little tired of, like, people taking so long. Mm-hmm. But then I decided we'd play, like, not a game, but we would just start this tradition of roll call. Whoever's in the front has to announce it. And you have to wait for everyone to be ready. You have to look back, like, okay, we got 3 dudes behind me. Mm-hmm. And you shout as loud as you can, roll call! And then you go down the quad line and you say your nickname. So I was Quesarito.
Oh, yeah.
Xavier was X-Daddy. Robert was Master Onion. And Jared was Instant Lunch.
Some solid nicknames.
Because once at Western, Mike Royer just went up in front of Xavier while we were in battery, maybe even perk on, and he just looks at him, X-Daddy, and we all just look and start laughing because it wasn't prompted. Robert had a top knot, so Colin once said, do you know Master Onion from this one video game? No. And then we looked it up, and like he looks nothing like Master Onion, just except for the top knot because it was an onion with a stem. So we called him that, and then Jared just had an Instant Lunch shirt.
We had a kid in the pit, you know, his name was Evan.
Sure.
His name wasn't Evan. His name was Walker.
What?
Everyone just called him Evan.
Like it was just kind of accepted?
I guess. I mean, because I kind of got there late to the game, like meeting everyone for the first time. So I just thought his name was Evan. Then one day I learned his name was actually Walker. And I was like, is your name actually Walker? He goes, yeah. I was like, what? Why do people call you Evan? He goes, you can call me Wevin.
Wevin.
Yeah.
Why is that the solution? Why do they call you Evan? Well, if you want to call me Wevin, go for it, my man.
I mean, I was okay with it. I just answered all the questions I had for him.
Yeah, drum corps is dumb.
Drum corps is so interesting.
What do I have?
Drum corps really is.
If you guys don't know, on the video portion of this podcast, this is my drum wall. All my somewhat achievements.
Yep.
What do I have here?
Yeah,
monster trucks.
Nice achievement in marching Illini, sir. Monster truck.
Monster trucks.
Okay.
So we went to Walmart this summer, and someone bought this movie and never played it. So whenever we would have movie night, I would always just shout from the back of the bus, "Monster trucks!" And then the battery would start shouting it, but they would never play it.
Yeah, I remember when the one time you got you got the whole back of the bus to scream monster trucks, and I was the only one saying Paul Blart, and we got to watch Paul Blart.
So many to watch Paul Blart. And then the day they put in monster trucks, I fell asleep. I didn't even watch it. I woke up like, what's going on?
Fucking bastard.
And then I stole the DVD case. I used to have the DVD, but I don't know where it went. I also lost my compass.
Oh, really?
I lost my necklace. It's somewhere here in my basement.
Oh, you're fine.
But
I thought it fell off somewhere.
No, it's like, because I put my necklaces together, my big one's in my room now, but they were both down here at one point. And then one day I just couldn't find it. I know it's down here, but I already emailed Ibe, like, hey, can I get a new one? Yeah, 2 beads and then my age out bead.
Man, the bus...
Bus culture is weird, man.
The bus, let me tell you, worst experience in the bus is when somebody's full gallon of Arizona spilled on overhead bay and soaked me in sticky liquids.
I'm just saying, Guard Bus had Friday night fight nights, and it's bullshit that Perk Bus didn't get to.
It's bullshit. We had roasts taken away.
Oh, man. You want to restart the camera and we can talk about roasts?
I guess, yeah.
Okay, we'll be right back. We're back! So yeah, the interview. So one of our dudes had marched Southwind the year prior and said, oh yeah, at Southwind we would do this thing called bus interviews where someone's the interviewer and then there's an interviewee and we just go on the bus microphone. Well, everyone on the bus messages the interviewer and then anonymously they read it out saying, hey, this is the question, what's the answer? So the interviewee doesn't know who's asking it, but you just kind of answer it.
And it's meant to be funny and lighthearted.
Yeah.
And you can ask more, like, kind of...
raunchy questions.
Yeah, because it is anonymous, but you're not supposed to, like, attack the person.
No.
Well, Well, that kind of is what happened.
Well, you and I were some of the first people to go up, and people were like asking us questions about the other, and we were just firing on all cylinders. Like that was my top comedic moments right there. Like some of the questions, do you stand or sit to wipe? I just roll over.
I can pull up some of the questions I sent. So I felt some of the safer ones were pretty funny. What's going on up there?
I don't know. My dog just got excited. He's got the zoomies. It'd be like, what's your body count? Some of them were like really. It got to the point. I think we only did it like once or twice, and then the bus driver was really upset with us and told the core director, and then we couldn't do bus interviews anymore. Which, to be fair, it got very out of hand very quickly. You didn't want to say any of the ones you said?
Aren't that funny?
No?
Wait, okay. I could do, what's his middle name? What's his shoe size? And then it just gets into the ones where I start making fun of people.
Okay.
My one's for you. Ask him if he vapes.
Is he cool?
Oh, favorite Mexican in Legends.
Favorite Legends Mexican.
Yeah, and you would always ask that.
I always asked everyone, who's your favorite Legends Mexican? Being a Mexican in Legends.
One of the only few. And you would think that I'm being a Mexican asking the question, and it'd be like, oh, you. Mm-hmm. No, never. It was never you.
Oh, Sergio, Zyra.
I think I was more than you.
Is I Mexican? Once I had someone say George Lopez.
Hey, he is better than you.
He is a legendary Mexican. So yeah, we got that taken away from us real quick.
I think a girl was up there and I asked if you could pee standing up, would you? Fuck, marry, kill. Boxers, briefs, boxer briefs.
That's all it'll turn into. Like, what's your body count? FMK. And just like so much inappropriate stuff.
Favorite Legends Costa Rican. Can you say something to hurt Eddie's feelings? This isn't a question, but can you say that Nick has yet to pee in the drain when he lost odds? Do you think I can say those stories of Nick in the shower?
No.
Not even peeing in the drain?
I mean, maybe,
he didn't even do it.
I mean, sure, peeing in the drain.
Okay, so we were in the shower, showering as you do, and we were just, joking around, and somebody oddsed our future member of the year to pee in the drain, and he lost. And this man really tried to pee in the drain, but he couldn't.
I didn't hear this.
He got stage fright.
Oh, guy.
Poor man got stage fright. And it was really funny because, the pits always last in the shower. It could be a lot of shit to pack up. We're always loading the truck. Last ones to eat. And last ones in the shower. So we were about to move out of the site. And the cleaning crew is coming through with their squeegees trying to clean up the shower. And Nick's standing over the drain, kind of squatting, but like not. And he's just like trying to pee. That what a sight.
That is a funny man.
Nick Warren had top 10 sites in the shower. Like he's on half that list.
So I guess your tour job was basically just pit, right? You guys don't have a crew job?
I mean, we had earlier on in the season we were dealing with speakers, and then we were like, we really can't deal with all this.
I didn't know that was supposed to be your crew job.
We were entirely supposed to deal with speakers by ourselves.
Wow, that would have been horrible.
Like the 12 speakers that were on the field, in addition to all of our shit, which takes multiple trips in and of itself. Because we got to help, Carter's got multiple stuff, parts of his drum set, and the aux rack guys. And so we were like, first we got a few brass people to help. They were supposed to move them around on the field, but we loaded them entirely. That was our job. I was on Sparky, which is the electronics truck, just housed all the speakers and electronics, and it literally, the first time we loaded Sparky,
weren't you guys out there till 3 a.m.?
Yeah. After a full day of rehearsal, we were we got the new trucks, and we were really excited to get the new trucks. They were sick, but we had to load them up for the first time, and what a bitch it was, because we didn't even know if everything could fit in Sparky yet.
Yeah.
And they had to renovate everything. We were just sitting out there doing nothing.
Did you guys get any extra sleep, or did they?
No.
No? It was just,
no.
All right, good luck.
And we had
a full rehearsal day the next day?
I had some personal shit going on too, and it was just I was so drained and defeated at the end of that day. I was just
I want to go home.
I spent most of that time waiting, laying in the parking lot just looking at the stars.
Would you say that was your wall? Did you hit a wall this summer?
think my entire summer was a wall, man. I don't know. I didn't really hit a wall with drum corps. I hit a wall emotionally.
I mean, that's what it is. That's when you hit your wall.
No, like because of other things, like personal people things. I didn't find the activity like difficult. Like standing there day in and day out, it did get really old. But I was just like, I don't know. I had been through. This is like literally the last season of band I had done after 12 maybe seasons, individual seasons of marching band. I know how to get through it, I guess, and I just zoned out for a lot of it because I could have. I didn't. It's shitty to say, but I need to be focused all the time.
Oh, for sure. No, you were having a grand old time. There'd be rehearsals. I'm watching you, looking at me rehearsing. You're not doing shit. You're just like, dude.
That's also because the pit people were all just really cool. Staff was, for the most part, really cool.
Dude, battery gets our ass handed to us.
That's just
which is warranted.
That's the culture,
and we made leaps and strides because of it.
Every single time that you got your ass beat a lot more than I did, but every time we got our ass beat this summer, we can say it was worth it.
Oh yeah, I would never say I wish they wouldn't do that.
Yeah,
like it's awesome. It's great to have stories because of it, and you build a bond because of it with these people next to you. Like, holy crap! Remember when we went through that together?
I know. I really miss some of those people. Big O. I was listening to a podcast the other day and somebody referred to somebody else as Big O, and I got really sad because that was Omid's nickname.
You guys called him Big O?
No, that was just Josh Snyder, what Josh Snyder called him. I'd be like, what'd you say, Big O?
Omid used to be such a good kid until you met him.
I literally corrupted him. Well, he's a way better musician now, so he would talk to me about music and it's just kind of evolved into degenerate things. And, it's I just want to I could have, you could say I evolved him, you could say I devolved him, but I left that man.
You could dissolve him?
I changed that man's life, and I set him on a course for destiny or failure.
You definitely aren't like the Legends kind of person.
I ruined the vibe in that pit.
Yeah,
I like the way they did things was like. It was very Nina. She was like the section leader for like 3 years.
Yeah, she'd been there forever.
In the pit for 5 years, and she was teaching first year teaching this year when I was there, and like she was just so ingrained into the pit and how they did everything, and like that was like her.
Well, that was the culture for the longest time.
And like,
but you coming out
I
here,
walk in and I'm just like, no, I'm not gonna do things that way, and I just kind of did things my way, and like everyone else kind of adapted. And it just like, because Omid really caught on, and he was just like, guys, you gotta listen to Danny. He's just like, he's just explaining things to me, and they just make sense.
This Joe Blow comes in like right before spring training.
Yeah,
doesn't want to try, but man, is he cool?
He just like starts telling the staff, he's like, I maybe we should try this, do things this way, and yeah, it's because Josh liked me a lot, and Josh respected. And
you had a lot of respect because of your jackets you could wear.
Having Will there, who was really fucking good, center member for the Max. He was on staff. He helped that bridge that gap because he validated me in a lot of the sense.
Well, even up to your audition for Legends, when I was thanking Ib or whatever, I think it was like afterwards at a camp when I said, hey, thank you for giving my friend a shot. I really appreciate it. It's like, well, to be honest, his name was on our radar for a while. Once we had the opening, and like you saying it to Landon kind of like reassured us that we'll hold out for this kid. Like they wanted you there.
That's so cool.
Because I'm sure like posting with you and like you came out to a couple shows, a Legends cat or an X cat.
Yeah, there were times where I had my doubts, like where I was like, maybe I should have waited out another summer. Maybe I could have marched the next summer at a better drum corps and had a better experience. But like honestly, looking back, I'm really glad that I marched that year with you, obviously. And
dude, it was so fun.
It really was, and obviously I learned a lot.
Sneaking out super late at night.
That's a good story. We walked to, what lake was it? Lake Erie? Erie, where we in New York or somewhere. Our housing site was a few blocks away from.
I would say like a half mile.
The lake, yeah. We had to walk a good distance. Yeah, and we saw some crackheads on the way.
Dude, they were like talking to no one, but it's so many people.
We literally crossed the street, and
like we saw them like in front of us. Like, let's go on the other side of the street. Yeah, and it was like a little bit after lights out.
That was really cool. That was I did that twice. Snuck out. The other time I did it with Sobi. Okay. We went to an actual like beach. That was cool.
It's pretty fire.
Smoke cigs.
And then you and I went. We went to a pizza shop early on our free day.
Yeah. Yeah. Good times, actually.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, I'm just throwing it all out there now. The thing that got me through drum corps was my cigarettes with Sobe. Sobe was a lifesaver because, wow, for my emotional, personal things, you got fed up with me because I was dumb.
Yes, I was very explicit. I stated many times, like, you are making mistakes.
Nothing against, and yeah, I don't hold.
I was very
you.
real with you.
Like, you were right. I'll tell you, you were right. But Sobe was he was very understanding of the situation, and he was also, I mean, a delinquent like I. He has a lot of good stories. I mean, oh my God, he's been to, never mind.
Well, I'm sure it's easier for you guys to make that connection because you guys were always on the same schedule. You guys were in the same section.
Oh, yeah.
Being in battery, I have to be there like 20 minutes early so I can rehearse.
And technically, Sobe and I were seat partners.
Yeah.
I just didn't sit with him half the time. But, oh yeah, Sobe and I, it was like first thing in the morning, we'd like before breakfast, we were always last ones at breakfast because we had to go get our morning cig in. And like, damn, nothing beats the nicotine shakes, like early on in the morning, a drum corps, sun's coming up and you're eating your oatmeal in the parking lot.
Oh God,
nothing like it.
Sitting on the curb.
Nothing like it when you gotta sit out morning block because you're nick sick.
I couldn't believe I found you in my sleeping bag.
Yeah, I literally broke every single rule in the handbook. Right?
I think that's what we learned. I think there might have been like 2 rules you didn't break, or maybe 1.
But that was like, don't sexually harass each other.
Yeah. It's like, don't get into physical altercations or something. I don't know. There was like one or 2 rules.
I think I broke that rule.
Yeah, it was pretty wild.
Do you not know I broke that rule?
No.
I'll tell you later.
Yeah, this is not where we air our grievances. Well, I think on that note, you want to wrap this up and just hang out? Want to just chill at my place for a bit?
Yeah.
All right.
For sure. Sounds nice.
Well, thanks for joining us. I hope you learned a little bit about drum corps, Montessori, and the Fitnessgram pacer test.
Everything. We literally touched on everything.
Yeah.
We touched everything this episode.
I touched all this table.
Show me on the doll where we touched you this episode.
Show me on the pizza box.
That's not okay. So we didn't say that. Don't condone any sort of sexual harassment of sorts. Treat each other with love and respect. Black Lives Matter.
I mean, yeah.
Bye!